it's an incredible honor for me to introduce Betty Sutton. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you so much, Dr. Hooks, for that very, very warm introduction. It is good to see you wherever you went again so soon. I am just delighted to be here to join you this morning, and I want to just for a moment before I continue, I want to thank Bill McIntyre for the wonderful tribute to John Logue. We all know that John was a lifetime champion of the democratic workplace. He touched so many lives, including my own. John made a difference. And what's more is he inspired others to make a difference. And when John passed, and the Ohio Employee Ownership Center put up on the website a bit of a tribute to him, describing his life, I was struck then when I read it, and I was struck again the other day when I looked at what was said there. But most specifically, there was a line on this description of John Logue, and it says, "He was not born a wealthy man, nor did he die as one. Contented instead with the modest security of a professor's life, as he sought to help others create a similar security for themselves." And to me, that is inspirational, because isn't that really what life is about and what our job and our common cause and mission is all about? So I'm so pleased to be here with you to continue the work with all of you to further our common goals. Employee ownership, worker empowerment, and democracy in the workplace are all issues dear to my heart. One thing that wasn't mentioned in the introduction, but is also a part of my background worth mentioning, I think, is that I did a little work in between those public service jobs as an attorney representing workers throughout Northeast Ohio. So I also have that kind of perspective when I go out and fight for policies that will work with and for all of us. So, and as John's work illustrates, employee ownership gives workers a way forward when their workplaces are closing. We've seen that. Employee ownership allows for family businesses to continue operating after the last family member retires. But best of all, employee-owned businesses are successful businesses. Studies have shown the more avenues for participation there are for employees in a company, the better the company's performance. And doesn't that just make sense? In majority employee-owned companies, employees receive wages that are 5 to 12% higher than the median hourly wage in comparison companies. They receive higher benefits, including a better retirement plan. One study showed that the value of retirement plans are 150% higher in ESOP companies than non-ESOP companies. Employee-owned companies also benefit the local community. So it goes beyond just those who are directly involved. An ESOP is less likely to lay off people when the economy slumps and less likely to ship jobs overseas, as we have heard. That has been a great concern to me and to so many families throughout Northeast Ohio and beyond who have suffered because of the loss of jobs shipped overseas. One study found that in 2009, one of the roughest years for the economy since the 1930s, 66% of ESOPs grew or stayed the same. Now that's pretty impressive. I don't know about you, but higher wages, better benefits, less layoffs, more jobs in this country, and an ability to weather economic storms all sounds pretty good to me. And centers like the Ohio Employee Ownership Center have a positive impact on the number of employee-owned companies in the area and ensuring that those employee-owned companies utilize best practices. Ohio is, of course, one of among 3 states to have a state employee ownership program. And not only that, it is also the oldest to continually operate a state employee ownership center. The thinking that employee ownership represents is inspiring to me and is emblematic of the work that I do in Congress. And Dr. Hook just referenced some of that thinking. You know, for example, I often face this kind of thinking that we can either do this or we can do that that we can either have disenfranchised workers or we can have a successful business, but not both. And I have to fight against this mentality in Congress in much the same way that you fight against that mentality as you create solutions that work for employees as well. About a year ago, in March of 2009, when I introduced the CARES Act, which became, for whatever reason, more affectionately known as Cash for Clunkers, who knew? I did it to shore up jobs in the auto and related industries and to improve the environment by providing incentives for consumers to purchase more fuel-efficient vehicles, of course, giving them savings well into the future. But some people actually said there are too many goals to the legislation. To shore up thousands of jobs and restart idle factories, to create more jobs, to help consumers purchase more fuel-efficient vehicles, and to improve our environment, that's just too much. But we accomplished these goals. Through the CARES program, nearly That's okay. Yeah. Thank you, this is jacked over. 60,000 people were put back to work through that program. We moved the GDP from a range of $3.8 billion to $6.8 billion. We saw an environmental gain in the cars turned in from the ones that were purchased of 60%. We increased fuel economy for this program in a way that will save consumers an estimated $700 to $1,000 a year going out. And that is the result of fighting against that either-or mindset that says it's either the environment or jobs. And as I said, I am sure that you face that kind of fight all the time. The voices out there that say you can't help workers and help the economy, that you can't allow employees to have a voice in the running of the business and be a successful business. But your very presence here today, and all of you who stood up, illustrates that you have rejected the false choice of either-or thinking. Finding innovative ways to solve our nation's problems is what is going to take our workforce and our businesses into the 21st century. And one example that we've already heard of here today is the Evergreen Cooperative System. Evergreen Cooperative, which is based in Cleveland, rejected the either-or mentality. Evergreen realized that not only do people need jobs, but they need the ability to build personal wealth and the ability to contribute to the community. Evergreen works from the philosophy that jobs alone do not eradicate poverty, that in order to succeed, people also need a say in how their workplace operates. And when workers are the owners, they not only have a say in how their workplace works, but they have a stake in ensuring that the business is profitable. They know that when the company does well, they do well. And when the company doesn't do well, that they don't do well. And that can be an incredibly powerful motivator. Unlike most work environments where the CEOs, the top brass, and the shareholders are the only people who see the profits, at Evergreen and at so many other ESOPs and co-ops, the workers, who are the owners, see the profits. The Evergreen Co-op has fostered the growth of 3 worker-owned co-ops in the Cleveland area. These are not-for-profit companies providing needed services, but with the workers at the helm. They have helped form a state-of-the-art commercial laundry, which serves the needs of a number of hospital facilities in the area, including the Cleveland Clinic and the university hospitals. Evergreen has also started the Ohio Cooperative Solar. Ohio Cooperative Solar provides weatherization and solar panels to businesses across the state. And the state of Ohio has adopted an alternative energy portfolio standard mandating that by 2025, all electricity sold in the state will come from alternative energy resources. So clearly the solar thermal market will be there as this is accomplished. And finally, Evergreen Co-op is embarking on a new worker-owned food production greenhouse in Northeast Ohio. And that greenhouse will be a profit-driven business that will employ more than 40 people while allowing them to earn equity in the company, creating jobs, helping the local economies, and improving our environment. I really can't think of a more winning business. ESOPs and co-ops have expanded across this country, and they continue to expand. Recently, the United Steelworkers, and I see some of my friends from the United Steelworkers who are here, that's right, my friends from the USW. The United Steelworkers partnered with Mondragon, a very successful Spanish cooperative that we've heard of here in Mr. McIntyre's remarks. And businesses that Mondragon has started or taken over have a phenomenal 97% success rate. Together, USW and Mondragon will expand worker ownership to the manufacturing sector in this country. They will adapt the collective bargaining principles to a worker ownership model coupled with successful business practices. And I just hope that the Mondragon and Steelworkers' first venture will be in Northeast Ohio. Preferably the 13th Congressional District. However, as we move forward, part of ensuring that ESOPs are successful and are able to grow means ensuring that they have access to capital. Employee-owned businesses are often small businesses, and small businesses need working capital. Small businesses, like some of yours in this room, need help with loans because your businesses are unique and do not fit the traditional business model. So even though your businesses might be more successful and resilient than the typical small business, you still need help. So recently, I co-sponsored legislation to help streamline the SBA lending process. H.R. 4598, the Express Loans Improvement Act of 2010, allows banks to more quickly process SBA guaranteed loans so that they can get in the hands of small businesses faster. It will also increase the loan value amount from $350,000 to $1 million, which more accurately reflects the needs of small businesses. And it increases the guarantees for SBA lenders. Congress needs to take these steps along with many others to ensure that small businesses and ESOPs have the quality and access to the capital they need. As a member of Congress, I want you to know that I look forward to working with you to support employee ownership. And I know that, as I said, my friend, Jack Dover from Senator Sherrod Brown's office will be speaking to you next about the two pieces of legislation that Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Brown have introduced in the Senate. And if I could, I would be remiss if I did not say what a tremendous job Senator Sherrod Brown is doing in the United States Senate, where, frankly, we need some people to do a tremendous job. So we are glad that he is there working hard and making a difference. Their legislation encourages employee ownership. And now neither of these two bills has been introduced in the House yet, but that's about to change because I will soon introduce companion legislation in the House. So the work that all that you do to ensure that employee ownership is successful, you should know makes a tremendous difference. It's an inspiration to me, and it's a shining example of what we can do when people join in common cause. Thank you again so much for inviting me to be with you this morning. I look forward to all of the successes that this room will produce in the weeks and months ahead, and look forward to working with you to help. And remember, there is no box. Thank you.